All right, thank you folks for showing up here tonight. I have two additions. One would be emergency meeting minutes approval by George, and I'll put that, if it's approved, I can put that under the same minutes as of December 9th in that category. Does anybody have an issue with that?
You want a motion?
Go for it.
Move that we add to under approval minutes, the minutes from January 3rd.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And then executive session
Excuse me.
for personnel. This has to do with the resumes that have been submitted. Is there a motion to have a brief discussion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that one as well.
All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
And that'll be at the end of the meeting. All right. Any other additions or deletions? Okay, approval of the December 9th, 2024, select board meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any conversation? Anybody have any concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I wasn't here, so.
Okay, for the record, Heidi. Emergency minutes,
January 3rd.
January 3rd, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve, just that we correct
Did I misspell something?
Art's last name is misspelled.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, Art.
And I think that's all I saw. Yeah, I think it's just with the correction of Selectman Menard's name.
All right, is there a second on that
Second. Yeah.
updated motion?
Yep.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, highway, road commissioners report.
Well, we've been on the road pretty much almost every day. Keeping equipment up. We actually, sometimes we have some time in the shop, so we actually started taking the vendors out the payload and stuff and refurbishing that, rust and stuff, and starting to paint that a little bit for fill in for time.
Do you have some sort of a sandblaster or something to?
And then we got the little, what's that called? That's the rust for, it's like needles on it. For,
We tell you the cash front.
If you're doing that down there, I think something's wrong.
shut that TV off, would you please?
Good thing there's no TV.
Better have a,
I don't know what the hell he does.
It's get the rust off so we can prime it and sand it.
It's like a body grinder or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, scaler. Too bad after all that.
Had to let him squirm a little bit before he did that.
Man. Okay.
Sorry I asked.
So, yeah, and the salt is budgets. I'm scared, but I mean, we're out almost every day. Just little piddly snowstorms. So,
Well, just get the snow to stop.
no, okay. The new fellow's working out very well. Very impressed with his performance, so that's about all I got.
anybody have any questions for the road commissioner? All right,
You got Jim's on here.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's getting down there. New truck
I didn't get
discussion. You want to have any further discussion on the new truck, given that we did have a lengthy discussion?
Yeah, we need to be jumping on this and getting going for order a new truck for place in the Western Star.
Can you come up with some
I'll get with the
verbiage?
salesman again.
Yeah,
Maybe in 2 weeks, next board meeting, I have a quote.
Let's do that.
Yeah. That way we can, that'd be.
I would say just to do our due diligence and to follow our purchasing policy, we do need, what's it say, 2 or 3 different prices from the different dealers. I know
Yeah.
we already got our ideas of what we're gonna do, but I think just to do our diligence, we
Right.
need to make sure
Because
we've got.
policy standards,
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
we can do that. It was in the plan.
And, how about on-call protocol?
On-call protocol, what's,
Yeah.
Sure, it's on the agenda.
I didn't add that.
Well, it says here, on-call protocol. Do
Mhm.
you have any policy for on-call down there? I don't know, I'm just reading what.
Yeah, I don't even know why that was added. I'll have to ask Ashley afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
So I guess to be legal then, I'll make a motion that we remove on-call protocol from the agenda.
Second.
is there any further conversation? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Or we could say no action, but take it off just as easy, I guess.
Right.
Yep.
End of story. Jimmy, what's, up?
Oh, just salt deal again. I hate to keep beating this horse, but you know, Cash just said he's worried about his salt budget. And in the month of December, we spread salt. At least 3 tandem loads, 39 degrees out, and all we got was rain. So, you know, if say you're doing 15 ton to a load at $102 a ton, you're talking, you know, $1,500 a load. And if you do that three loads for the storm that didn't storm, there's $4,500 gone. You did it on the 3rd, you did it on the 4th, and you did it on the 19th. Never got a flake of snow. Never got a flake of snow. And it's running down the river, and then we're going to get it with the river.
You want the?
What are you looking for? What are you looking for?
This probably don't go back for now. This is go back to December. I don't think so.
What are you gonna?
I'm sorry, I thought you'd sign
You're
it.
gonna check timesheets.
He wants to look at timesheets.
Oh,
What were the dates, Tim?
The 3rd
Of December?
of December. I saw the 1 ton right at the bottom of Shrewsbury Road, the 550 with a load of salt on it, and it was 39 degrees out, and it never got any lower that day. It rained all day long.
What were the other dates?
The 4th, we did the same thing. It was 36 degrees, but we pre-treated our roads and never got any snow whatsoever. And on the 19th, we spread salt and never went below 38 degrees and never got snow.
Okay.
But there's $10,000,
Might
$12,000
not have a
that we
quick
spent.
answer for you right away, but I'm gonna check into it.
let him do a little research there, we'll get back to it.
I mean, I guess what I would say, Jim, is I remember at least one day that because we were forecast to potentially get snow and it rained.
Yeah.
And I kind of like you, I cringed just because of.
But I
It-
think we need to stop pre-treating, and if you want to pre-treat, go to using our brine machine that we have, that they haven't touched yet. It's a quarter of the salt.
So we're
What are the,
And if they need to
Jim,
be retrained again, I think Eddie would be more than happy to go down and go through it again with them. But we've never put a
So the brine
on the
machine,
road that I know of.
the brine machine is done.
Here, yeah.
It's in the garage down there. Our issue with that is it needs to go into the 550. Put the thing in the tank and stuff in the 550 with the nozzles and stuff. Okay.
George signed it.
The
To
other
spray the
issue
roads, you mean?
is, huh?
To spray the roads, you mean?
Yeah. The other thing is, and then when you have a snowstorm or something, or afterwards, and you want to use that 550, you got to remove the tank and stuff in the spray bar out of that truck, and then put the tailgate back up and it takes 2 people to do all this stuff.
So
And-
what happened to? I thought at one point we were going to rig it up on the trailer so that it could just be pulled, so we didn't have to pull it in and out. Did that not ever?
Oh, I didn't.
I thought that's what we talked about. We talked about rigging it up on the
Unless we-
trailer.
That or
Because could it go on the flatbed? I mean, I know the
well, it
flatbed.
could go on that spray trailer we use for dust control. Use that tank if that's what you want to do.
Well, one of the questions I don't understand is, what's the advantages of the brine versus the salt, other than the cost? The money is obviously less.
It makes the salt go further. That's
But-
all. That's the philosophy.
All the towns around has done it. Just go on the internet, type in road brine,
Okay,
and look what these towns have got to say. I mean, like up here in front of your town hall, you take a bug sprayer, weed sprayer,
yeah.
put brine in it instead of using rock salt out here
Oh, you mean on the walk and whatnot?
on the walk-in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be less slipperier. And everybody said that the economical advantage of brine is half.
So is there a disadvantage to it?
The only disadvantage with it is you gotta make it. They're trying a lot of different things, like up around Cabot. Get Cabot cheese whey. It's already certain percentage of salt is like 3 or 4%. So it takes less salt to bring it up to 23. The more the dense of the brine, it's gotta be 23%. It'll work down to 13 below. Them cold days we had, we all know the roads are pretty greasy. They didn't clear up because salt stopped working at 17 degrees.
So this thing the brine you say
Yes.
goes lower in temperature?
It's lowering the temperature.
Well, our additive that we got in the salt will take it down below zero and still work.
Right, but I mean, still, you're using half of what it is. The goal here is, is costing us a lot of money. So if you spent $20,000, you could have had the extra vehicle already in the savings, $10,000.
So how big of a batch are we mixing up at a time if we
75 or so.
two?
But it's
That's square
okay.
tones.
But
Okay,
the way this thing is just to try it, it'll
Yeah.
work.
to test it.
I've got 1,100 gallon tank up on the hill. I got a 4 1/4 up on the hill that can be used.
Yeah.
Well, cold days when not a lot's going on, or even if you're getting ready to head out, fill that water tank, let it make it to brine, get it to your 23%, pump it into 1,100. That one pump could do it all. It could fill the truck, move it from one tank to the other, just set them up in them bays. You might have to move something out, but if you can cut the use of salt down, the bigger impact is the environment.
Sure.
The sodium does not go away. Chloride does not go away. It ends up in the creek.
Yeah.
And it's killing our waterways. New Hampshire's already dealing with it. Quite a few of the other towns around states are dealing with it. So that's Canadian. I read an article tonight. Canada's is big time worried about it. They're doing like 500 ton a year up there. So,
I mean, we had already voted that when it was ready, we wanted to try it. I
Right.
thought. I mean, I thought.
I would put it on that pallet I brought, strap it down, take the forks of the loader, set it in the back. Doesn't need to be anything complicated, and try it.
So your concern, Cash, is the convenience of getting it set up to run or use?
In both directions.
Yeah, taking it off and putting it
Yeah.
on.
Because now we got it set up so that the loader truck goes around and does what it's
Yeah,
supposed to
you
be
do the
doing, all the little roads and stuff like that.
But you still could do it with brine, it's not salt, same thing.
No, what I mean, little roads, the dirt roads.
Right, but you could still do it with brine, instead of having it heaped up with salt. You could put the brine tank in there and fill it up.
Oh, for weight, you mean?
No,
No, they don't. They don't put salt on the dirt roads.
No.
I
Exactly.
know that, but I mean, even if you wanted to put sand in it, I mean, you got the big trucks. It makes more sense to use the big trucks for sand in the dirt roads.
Well, we already agreed, and we've been down this road already. The little roads are where the little truck goes.
Right.
Well, yeah.
The little
No, I
dead
agree.
ends
Like
and
your
stuff like that.
Peter's Lane, your Cop
Yeah.
Lane, your little stuff.
Little
Right.
one-way streets or whatever.
Not only the tires, but even the, the dirts. And that's where the little truck, that's what I'm saying is, you can remove that equipment out of that truck. And Eddie, it says that it's not a big deal. Well, it takes time to do all this stuff. But
So what was the rough time? I mean, are we talking 4 or 5 hours?
no, to remove the equipment,
Yeah,
probably half hour, 20 minutes.
okay.
Any more than that, if you had the forks on the loader.
So,
And then, then put the tailgate up and then load with,
There's a lot of ways you can do it, it's like you said, let's try it, see if it works. Once you see the advantages of it, then work toward the
Getting it
simplest
convenient.
method possible.
Even if we had to buy a smaller trailer.
Nah, you wouldn't wanna go anything smaller, cause the weight, Brian's heavy,
If we bought a secondhand trailer, that's,
yeah,
and then permanently mount something,
yeah.
it'd be there, all you had to do was mix.
if we're gonna do all that, you might as well use the dust control.
well, that's what I was
trailer
saying.
we
What
have.
about, we've got the dust control
Already.
trailer, so
Tote that around,
is that an option?
can be.
Like today would have been a good one, go out pre-treat with that. I had that figured out once, it seemed like 1,000 gallons or less.
Now, what if the roads are wet? Is that a problem?
No,
It'll stay put?
no, it was really nice, you put it on 3 days before, and the state does it, you'll see the white lines in the road. We had a time, 10 days ago, when it was so cold, the roads were pure white because
Yep.
of the salt on them.
Yep.
And that's what Brian does. But the goal is to reduce the amount we're using.
Ah,
'Cause if you think if it's $100 a ton, you take brine, spray it on sand as you're putting it on paved roads. You got the grit and you got the de-icing agent right there. And that's what a lot of the towns are doing doing that. That's why they ordered their trucks with brine tanks built into the side. So they're spraying the spinners to apply it.
So as the material drops down, it gets sprayed before it hits
And
the
it
road.
stays.
Yeah.
And the state, I understand, is experimenting with treating salt without doing the pre-treat, the mixture, putting salt. They're spraying the brine on the spinner to get the moisture to hold it to the road so it doesn't blow off.
Huh.
It's kind of interesting. Just go on the internet and read it. If I had a printer I could use, there's more better than there is worse. Brine, people say, well, brine eats your vehicle up, salt eats your vehicle up.
I was gonna say, it doesn't really
It's
matter.
the same
what it is.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
The goal is you're putting it on in a concentrated form, a controlled amount versus heaps.
So the philosophy was then mix it up, and then it could go into a toter tank, or you were going to put it in one of our other tanks to spray.
Well, that, or we could use the big dust control tank.
Because is it
The only
fine?
problem with that is when you're spraying down a road, you gotta be in the middle of the road because of
Right.
goes out, arms out.
Sure.
the width of it.
But what you do is
Well-
you fix your spray bar out.
Well,
You only
plug,
do part of the truck and then you spray it
plug,
out.
plug the two outside nozzles or something, so you're not dousing.
So
the
then you go on
ditch
one
and-
side of the road? If you plug them, you'll be able to get on just one side of the road or whatever?
Well, it'd be nice to go right down the center of the road.
Yeah,
And even just that with the trailer going down the center of the road, you don't have to cover the whole road.
No,
gotcha.
it's gonna travel just like it all does.
Is that dust control trailer empty right now? As far
It's got a little bit of material, product in it, not much at all. Couple 100 gallons or something like that.
so it doesn't have much in it.
So how's your experienced crew feel about this process?
Not happy.
He doesn't like it.
And they're not happy because of the shuffling and stuff back and
Well,
forth?
But the amount of money you'll save in the amount of salt you're using compared to
That's-
your labor rate,
right.
it sounds like the town's gonna save money.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, even the pre-treating, I figured out some of it there. If you're gonna keep pre-treating, don't pre-treat until the snow's actually falling out of the sky. I'd rather pay two of you guys to sit down there and play cards.
Oh.
And when you got done playing cards, then go out because the snow's coming down. Because you're gonna save money over spreading salt on the road
Well, it's like
that you don't need it for.
I think I want him playing cards. We'll be back to what Eddie said earlier.
Yeah.
we did
Cash's
the
idea.
pre-treat today, this afternoon. Went out at 1 o'clock, quarter after, or 1 o'clock it was.
Yeah. Oh, for
And you
the-
guys, all three of you guys come out the mountain.
Yeah, it was fine. A little bit on the corner, but it's that corner's always
corner's
gonna
bad
have a
with
problem.
ledge anyway.
It's the way it's been.
But it
But
started
that-
snowing at 10 o'clock this morning too, Cash. You know, up there on top of the mountain and everything else. But when you're going out and spreading salt and it's 38 degrees out and pouring rain, you get wetter in the shower in 3 seconds or wetter outdoors in 3 seconds than you would in your home shower
remember.
and you were spreading salt.
Honestly, I don't remember spreading salt in the rain like that, Jimmy, but
You
whatever.
did. You did.
Okay.
I saw it on the truck.
Thing to look at it is
Not gonna argue with you.
probably, how many loads of salt you used today? 3 or 4? Tandem loads?
Today, to pre-treat, they didn't even use probably about a third a load apiece when they come back, because I topped them off.
So a load, that's $1,500.
Mhm.
So half of that, figure half of 15,
750.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
it makes a big-
do we need an action on this, or are we
You
happy?
guys should look it up. Just go with your phone, Google it, and
Yep.
look it up. And I even went to the point of looking at, does salt break down? Salt does not break down.
No, it
It
doesn't.
dissolves and it ends up in the lowest point and it makes salt pools.
If you dissolve salt in a glass of water and you have a good filter, you pour your salt will be in the filter.
Right. Reverse osmosis again.
Yeah.
We've gone around about this a few different times. So I guess, Cash, you said the guys aren't happy.
Mhm.
So what's the biggest beef? Like, do you need select board?
Another,
Because
I don't want to put this in another job, but
Okay, but-
but there's benefits on the other side.
sure, and well,
That's
and,
the way it's going to have to be. You're going to have to pull the string, say this is what we're doing.
well, and that's where
Flat out.
my next step
And
was.
I've had when I first come on here, aggravation, everything else,
sure.
that down there.
Mhm.
So
So
Well,
you
and
let
so-
that one alone because there was so much. I appreciate that.
I guess what I would say is, because I'm a boss too, so I get it. And you say you give a new directive or you give a
Hey.
new thing,
It's changed.
and change doesn't always get
Right.
received very well.
well,
And it's the age-old pastime to complain about your boss, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So, I guess my question is, do you need
Yeah.
the select board to just say we're trying this, and that's all we're saying? We're going to try it, and that way,
I will start it tomorrow morning.
and that. But I'm saying that way.
Right for backup.
That way you've got backup.
Right.
Where if you're hearing about it, if and I'm just one person talking, but I think we should at least try it. So if it has to be put on the select board,
Right.
and you have to come
Make a motion on it.
and you have to go down and say, well, that stinking select board last night, guess what they did, and basically,
Well, that's what I'll be told.
I got wide shoulders and I'm
Mr.
not afraid
Chair.
to tell somebody to go.
I would move that we authorize our road commissioner
I don't
to
even
try
think we can
using
do
the
that.
brine as a pre-treat process for our roads.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion?
Should go right out, like say, right, file the roads, put it on, see
Yep.
what happens.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Okay.
And you're gonna see these snow showers all week long from the sounds of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
And a
not.
shower.
Doesn't sound like it's going away.
Not until next weekend, possible.
Yeah.
What we need to do is call the governor and get him to stop snowing. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Pico and Killington wouldn't be very happy.
Probably not.
All right, moving right along. Approval of the select board warrants.
Is this all set? Sign
I
it.
They're
don't
over
know if
there.
I did or not.
Yep.
I think we've all seen it.
Yep.
Okay.
If anybody wants to look at them, they're over there.
I have these petitions.
Okay.
You want them?
Anybody wanna think they're a guest? Public comments? Sound like we've had enough. E-waste contract sign off. I believe that this is what that is.
What's that?
The e-waste contract sign off.
Oh, okay.
Rob wants to look at it. You guys wanna look at that?
So this is an agreement for January 1st through December 31st of 2025. It's for all of our e-waste at the transfer station, and that the collector is going to continue collecting and all that good stuff. And it just has to be signed by one person, which I assume would be the chair from the town. And I will so move it.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, here, Rob, while you're,
Our next item is the reappointment of the health officer, and Richard Griffith is still willing to be it, so he is the one that's on here. And it needs to be signed by the select board chair.
So I move that we, who was it again, Richard?
Richard, yep.
Yeah, I move that we appoint Richard again as health officer.
I'll second that.
is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Okay, old business, ARPA monies, Heidi.
Yep, so this is a follow-up on, ARPA funds that were given to the town from the federal government through the state. And, each of you, I've provided with a little spreadsheet that shows, we need to show for the federal government exactly, you had voted to move the remaining ARPA funds into the general fund to cover expenses. So for their reporting, we need to show them exactly what expenses were covered. So that fiscal year, we ended up covering highway labor expenses and a portion of the health insurance expenses for that year, totaling the $221,478.59 to net those ARPA funds down to zero. So I just need, that's what we did. It matches up with our budget status for the year. So this is just a final tally, if you will, to dot our i's and cross our t's. That is exactly what was intended.
Mr. Chairman, I would propose that we move to ratify and approve the small spreadsheet that has been submitted in our packet, and that this small spreadsheet should be included in the minutes, our approved minutes of this meeting.
All right, is there a second to the motion for discussion?
I'll second that.
All right, then all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Now, I guess I made an assumption, maybe I shouldn't have, is somebody taking minutes, because I just didn't.
Ashley's actually gonna take the minutes from the PEG TV video.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So no worries, you're not on the hook.
I forgot the last time and I got chastised
This
appropriately.
meeting's a little bit longer than the last one.
What's that?
This meeting's a little bit longer than that last one you did.
Yeah, it would be tough to do this one from memory.
All right, then, town officers, report. Heidi, do you have anything else?
I just would like to report that we've concluded our budget workshops. The select board has worked very hard to make sure that there is not a significant increase to the taxpayer. And I think they've done a really good job, keeping everybody's best interests in mind. So thank you to the board for your diligence, and onward to March.
March on. Gloria, do you have anything?
No, I agree with the budget, and
Can I ask a question? Did you guys ever find out from the library why they wanted a 10% increase?
yeah, they were here today.
Yes,
They were here tonight.
Earlier in the budget.
They had they've got some personnel changes, number one. Number two, they're asking for more coverage on taxes. Childcare, and there's one other item that they're now having to deal with, as well as a minimum wage increase. So
And
that was-
we didn't give them the 10% they wanted.
Just asking, because nobody could figure out why they were asking for 10%, so.
Yeah.
They did have a report.
They had a report and they were
Yep.
here. We did pull it back. We kind of met them in the middle.
And they gave us a report on usage and whatnot that, I mean, they made a point, or she made a, oh, that was Mrs. Cogden, right? Yeah. Made a report that, you know, of how many people were using it, and the fact that it was the only cultural kind of thing we have in town. I personally use it. I don't know about anybody else, but, so.
That's okay. Did you have anything? Kevin, rather, Steve.
Nope.
Okay, I did get a phone call from, Japanese Auto over there, Carol Buffum, and he wants to talk to you guys. He's gonna call you in the morning about, separating his mom's property from his property or something like that, but, I said that you guys would at least be able to, send him in the right direction.
Give them some direction.
Yeah. All right, so just a heads up. Carol Buffum.
Yep. Thank you, Mike.
Okay. If there's no other concerns, we would like to go into a executive session for about 15 minutes at the most, to discuss some personnel issues with regard to, our resumes that are coming in. So,
We have copies of that at this point?
I know they were emailed.
and I'd like to have Heidi come in.
Yes, that's what I was gonna suggest.
So, somebody make a motion.
So move, that- or I mean, I move that we go into executive session for
Second it.
personnel concerns.
Yes, seconds it.
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Do you have any other concerns, Art?
No? You gonna explain what happened,
No.
a brief summary of what happened in
No,
executive
I don't
session?
feel like it.
I can, you want me to do something?
Sure.
So our executive session was to discuss personnel, particularly our vacant administrative assistant position, and some applications that we've received for that position. Currently, we have another round of interview scheduled for Wednesday, and we hope to be able to select a candidate to see if they'll accept the job.
Sounds good.
And I have no concerns tonight.
Okay, I don't either. George?
My only concern is that, to remind all of us to get going on discussions on the transfer station and come up with a plan. I mean, because we got the budget out of the way, so that's it.
I'm good. Agree with George.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?